Right, welcome back. So in this question we are dealing with angle C. So there's angle C. So if we look from here, that's the opposite side, that's the adjacent side, and that's the hypotenuse. So if you want sine C, so sine C will be opposite over hypotenuse divided by, that's sine C. Cos C will be adjacent over hypotenuse. Now, opposite is 3 over hypotenuse 5 divided by. Now note, that's a fraction. This is divided. A over h, 4 over 5. 4 over 5. Now, you take this and you put it in the calculator. You will say 3 ABC 5 divided by 4 ABC 5 is equal to. You'll put that and you'll find that the answer that you'll get on the calculator is really 3 over 4. That will be your final answer. Get the calculator to help you. Right. Now you are finding tan of C. Tan of C will be opposite over adjacent. Remember, when you were doing this, you should have started with so, ka, to, wa, so that you don't make a mistake. Right. Now, tan of C is equal to opposite over adjacent. Opposite of C is 3. Adjacent of C is 4. Now it said compare. Find and compare. When we compare, we are looking at that and this. And what do we find when we compare? The final answer for that is 3/4. The final answer for that is 3/4. Final answer for that is 3/4. The final answer for that is 3/4. So what is your conclusion? Your conclusion is that sine C over cos C is equal to tan C, because that is equal to that. Therefore the conclusion is this is equal to this. So your conclusion is sine C over cos C is equal to tan C. Or you can say it the other way. You can say tan C is equal to sine C over cos C. So that was the conclusion for number 1. Now let's get on to the other side. On this side, you have sine C all squared. So firstly, you got to find sine C. We already have sine C here, which is 3 over 5. Alright, let's do it step by step. Sine C is O over H. So it will be O over H all squared. O is 3. H is 5. It's squared. If you square this, put it in the calculator just like this, you will get the answer 9 over 25. Please use your calculators so that you get these answers correct. Now you want cos C all squared. So cos of C is A over H, and it has to be squared. A is 4, H is 5, all squared. You put this in the calculator, you'll get 16 over 25. Right, so you used your calculator for that. Now, this is exactly that. It's just written in another way. This is exactly that. It's just written in another way. So sine squared is actually 9 over 25. Sine squared C is 9 over 25. Cos squared C is 16 over 25. You put that in the calculator and you'll get the answer is 1. So what are we concluding? We are concluding, therefore, you can see the final answer for that is 1. So your conclusion is sine squared c plus cos squared c is equal to 1. So your final conclusion here is sine squared c plus cos squared c is equal to 1. This is true for any angle. This is true for any angle. This is true for any angle. No matter what the size of the angle is, that will be the answer. Alright, now, what is another answer for sine squared c? Now, I'm going to do them one by one. So, let's do sine c there. And I'll do cos squared c here. Now, for this answer, I am told that sine squared c plus cos squared c is equal to 1. I am told that in 5.5. They want me to write an answer for this. So the answer for this will be sine squared c is equal to, there's your 1. I will take this across. Equations, rules of equation. If I take this across, you will get minus cos squared c. So the final answer for sine squared c is sine squared c is equal to 1 minus cos squared c. If you take cos squared c, again, I will start with what I'm given. I'm given sine squared c plus cos squared c is equal to 1. Now, I want cos squared. I want this. Therefore, I will say cos squared c is equal to, there's the 1. I will take the sign on the other side. So it will become negative sine squared c. So cos squared c is equal to 1 minus sine squared c. Sine squared c is 1 minus cos squared c, and we're getting them from this equation over here. Actually, this is called an identity. It's not called an equation. This is called an identity. So you've got to learn some new words. So this is called an identity. Even that's called an identity. And from that identity, you conclude that sine squared c is 1 minus cos squared c. From that identity, you conclude that cos squared c is 1 minus sine squared c. Alright, so we're just expanding now in trigonometry. Once you know the basics, it's very easy to expand. Remember, use your calculators, etc. Alright, I'm still going to do a few more examples after this, all based on finding ratios. But let us stop here for a while. So in this lesson, you learned a new word called identity. You have found at least 2 identities. The first identity is tan c is equal to sine c over cos c. Your second identity is sine squared c plus cos squared c is equal to 1. And from this, you get 2 new identities. Sine squared c is 1 minus cos squared c. Cos squared c is 1 minus sine squared c. Alright, so enjoy that, and we will do a few more examples after this, where we're going to give you word problems. Primary school, you learn some word problems. So in the next 2 examples, we're going to give you some word problems. Alright, take care, relax, and come back for a few more examples.